Oops. Hi. No one's here, and that's okay. Let's see. Let's get settled, shall we? I think so. Let's get settled. That's what we'll do. This is going great. This is going great. So we're going to do things. Catfish. I think I left you a voicemail the other day when you were butt dialing repeatedly. It's one thing to butt dial somebody repeatedly. That's fine. It happens. But when that person calls you back, damn it, you've got to answer the phone. You've got to answer the phone. You've got to answer the phone. Yeah, so I took that personally. But that's okay. Jim, good morning. Just a cup of joe today. Well, I do have my my fruit and yogurt. We have mixed berries, which is exciting. And that's good. Joe, you're in Scotland now. Is that correct? Joe is in Scotland. And if so, that means Joe has, as far as I know, the only Sully in Scotland for now. Catfish was just wearing his loop shirt yesterday. This is your loop shirt. That's what happens. If you butt dial me and then don't answer when I call you back, I steal your loop shirt. So that's just how it works. If you go look at your laundry hamper, it's gone. Hank, good morning from work, he says. I say good morning to work. You know, it's funny. I was talking with Mrs. Sully a couple days ago about one of my old day jobs. And I did have one that I actually didn't hate for a while. I was involved in release management, which, I mean, that could mean a lot of things. But what this meant specifically was I was working for a software company. Oh, that's right. One of Mrs. Sully's Mrs. Sully is a figure skating instructor, choreographer, all around great talented person. And one of the parents, the mom of one of her skating students, actually works at this company that I used to work at. And so then she'd mentioned that we were talking about that, blah, blah, blah. And so I, kind of got to thinking about when I worked at release management for the software company. And it was kind of interesting because we didn't do anything, which is perfect for me. But we were involved in everything. So what that means is we weren't making the code. We weren't developing the code is really probably how we would describe that. We weren't responsible for pushing said software out to, across the databases and to its users and all that stuff. Ray, good morning to you. And so we didn't do that, but we were involved in everything. So we would have to manage the release schedule. This is a whole monthly process. And so, we would have to work with the developers and work with the QA testers to make sure that their testing was done by a certain time. And then we would, it's locked down and then it's pushed out onto the servers at a certain time. And so we would work with the IT people and then so we would test that to make sure it went on to the databases. But so we were involved in all of these things, but if something broke, we couldn't fix it. We could help people say, well, this is where the issue is, sort of. We could kind of track it to something and get in touch with that particular development team, but we weren't really responsible for any of it, which was great. And that was kind of a rad job. My boss was super cool. And it was the kind of job, during certain times in the release cycle, there was pretty much nothing for us to do. Again, perfect for me. And so some days were real light, and some days we were super busy, and it was great. And then my manager, as these things often happen, my manager got shifted to another team, and then the person that was brought in, they were something. So then I left. Sounds like being a weatherman. It's a lot like being a weatherman. And do you know that one of the things that I wouldn't mind doing is I would like to be a weatherman on a Spanish speaking TV station, but only if it was done in kind of like the style of like a telenovela character, over the top, and like in a romance telenovela kind of thing. So I would be, I would have a fan and be like, this would be working. I would look way better than this, but then this is Breakfast with Sully, and I woke up like this, so you're welcome. Also, if you, on TikTok, there's that filter right now that shows you what you look like when you're older. Don't do it. That's all I can say. I don't know how much. I mean, it is frighteningly accurate. And I don't know how much it's supposed to age you. I hope it's more than 10 years. Otherwise, I got to go find, in my 20s and 30s, I used to joke that I keep a cyanide pill between my cheek and gum in case I lose my hair. I just bite down. Because if this TikTok filter, which again, real accurate, it looks very realistic. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that it's very accurate. I'm going to say it looks very realistic. I don't know how far in advance it's supposed to age you, but like if it's 10 years, I'm going to go find that cyanide pill. It's like, it's got to be in like a sock drawer or something. Because I'm going to shut down. Anyway. Troy, good morning to you. I don't need to know what I'll look like when I'm older. I already feel old enough right now. I hear you, Christy, but it was kind of fun I would like to see one, a reverse, like a Benjamin Button kind of thing. That would be fun, because then I could go like, yes, that is what I looked like when I was, well, I guess I could just look at pictures for that. Yeah. There's that. One of those days we're all going to look like when we're older anyway. Well, that's true. Joe asked, what's the deal with the Warlock base? New acquisition. Oh, that thing? I guess you could say it was a new acquisition. Yeah. Moving on. So let's see. What else? Oh yeah. So, yeah, we were talking about. Oh, I covered that. Oh, Kyle says I would take 100% white hair tomorrow if it meant I got to keep it forever. Yeah, me too. Because you can always paint it. As you can see, I am overdue for a dye job. So, got to go visit the hair and makeup team soon. Whenever I say that, people are like, you wear makeup? I'm like, not at the moment. I mean, I did a long time ago, the style of the times for some people. But, it's a broad general. I got to go see the hair and makeup team. It's just kind of fun. It just seems like, I don't know, it just seems fun. I've already gone through 52 years like this. How much worse could it be? See, now that's what you would think. And then you see this filter and then you go, oh, fuck. I've looked at it like numerous times and I'm like, yeah, I mean, like it's frighteningly realistic. Yep. Kyle, if this helps you feel any better, my experience has been, if Jimmy Page looks pretty good with the white hair, he does. Jimmy Page also has Jimmy Page money. That's the thing. You see like celebrities, oh my God, they just don't age. They look fantastic. And that's great. They can afford to look fantastic. It's a lot of work. Um, shit, what was I going to say? I don't know. Who cares? Oh, Kyle, yes. I would say that if you probably can't grow a beard or a mustache very well, I think that's a good sign that you're going to keep your hair. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule by any means. There are many other types, many other factors in this sort of thing. I am not an expert in male pattern baldness. I can only speak from my fabulous experience. So, yes. And Joe, you're right. There is more of a story there. Hank says, I don't feel old. I'm 25 in my head. I'm not. I think, I saw this article. I forget what it was in. It was on my Apple News app. I think maybe the Atlantic. And it must have been the Atlantic because I didn't read it the whole way through because the Atlantic articles are really long. And they were talking about elderly people, or like once you get past a certain age, your brain kind of keeps you in a certain spot. And I don't really remember. It's not a great way to say this, but to express this. But I remember in the article, the writer asked their elderly mother, I think she was maybe in her 70s or 80s, like, how old are you? And she would like invariably say, I'm about 45. Like, I'm kind of like there, like early 40s, 45. Like my 40s were pretty good. It's an interesting time. A lot of things changed. And that's kind of when, I had time to kind of, maybe not time to, but, I made a jump going full time in my 40s and just kind of changing things up. It was a good time. 50s, I do not enjoy one fucking iota, but people are like, well, you could be dead. Could be. I wouldn't know it. Anyway, that's a little. How old am I? Like 48. Yeah, no, I am not. John is correct. I am 51. Ugh. Anyway, that's the deal with that. Kyle, I think you're chilling. I think you're good. I think you'll be fine. I mean, you're going to be fine regardless. Or I'm sorry, irregardless. You have full-on ginger gray beard these days. Well, that's your choice. You want to be the ginger gray pirate? That's up to you, man. It's all you. You just do whatever you need to do. It's only half a century. See, exactly. Yeah, I would not want to be in my 20s again. I would want to be in my 30s. I will look back and think, I'm like, I was a pretty, well, in my own perception, I was a pretty awful person through all of these other previous decades. And I don't know that I'm any better now. It's entirely possible that should I hit another decade, I go, man, I was you've just been an awful person this entire time. So nobody knows. I turned 51 last month and every part of me hurts. My son turns 1 in 2 weeks. The notion that children keep you young is absolute bullshit. I was bamboozled. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about this. I got to put this on the screen. Dude, I get it. I do not, under any circumstances, I have no capacity to understand how people can have kids and do it. Don't you have a child? Yes, I did. I was real early. My son is 30. 31. And, he and his wife, they have a 1.5-year-old. And super sweet, lovely, adorable child. Going to see them next weekend, so that's great. I look at people that have kids when I'm out and about and all that stuff, and I I don't who has I mm-mm, I do not have the capacity. Um, and I don't know if I did, but I'm sure I did, but I don't have the capacity to I guess keep up. Um, yeah, it makes my head swim. Hats off to you. I you know, oldest is 19 today. Youngest turned 16 in a couple months. Oh, but Robert, my turn. Every part of me hurts. Me too. This actually has been a really rough year health wise, considering in comparison to what my life has experienced thus far. So yeah, definitely got to exercise. But even so, it doesn't make things stop hurting. It's the I think it's the physical manifestation of all of your emotional pain. I don't know. It isn't, but but who doesn't? Not fish. So Catfish has known me. We've known each other since like seventh grade, and he's commenting on my statement of I've just been a horrible person or an awful person all of my life. So not awful. You had your times though. That is true. Um, I stand by my awfulness though. I'm 53, but I don't act a day over 15. I think I act. I think I might act like somebody older than me with certain viewpoints on things. But yeah, yeah, good times. So I do have some things that I was gonna to share. I was gonna go through some questions. A while back, um, the lovely and talented Kyle, who is in this chat right now, who's been helping out with social media and marketing. And Kyle, let me just take this opportunity to just publicly declare my undying love for you. Um, Good God, what a help! That's yeah, Dave, my 6-year-old just MMA elbowed me in the head. Well, where did she learn that, Dave? Mm, mm, mm. So, yeah. Troy, I'm 53 as well, but my wife tells me I act 12 all the time. That's good, right? Maybe. I guess it depends on the 12-year-old. So, Kyle, who has been helping with all of this, and if any of you are watching on Martin, Kyle is literally the best. Can confirm. Absolutely can confirm. I've wanted to work with Kyle, quite frankly, for years, and we've been able to make it happen these past couple months, and it is my stated goal in life to maintain this more than anything else. As long as Kyle is here, I can, everything will be okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. Robert has So saw a post somewhere on Facebook yesterday that stated Megadeth's Down to Extinction was released 31 years ago. Man, I wanted to shoot myself. That's the one that has Symphony of Destruction on it. Well, yeah. Think of what Megadeth song you knew 31 years ago. I don't know a whole lot of Megadeth songs. But I do know. I liked that one. I thought that was a cool tune. Do you think? Okay, so I have a Megadeth question for you. Train of Consequences. I really like that song. Do you think that was that the riff in Train of Consequences was based on Cowboys from Hell or something of that kind of feel? Do you think? I don't know what album Train of Consequences was on, but like to me that the riff, great riff, and I really like the arpeggiated chords, I guess you could call them, in the chorus. I like how the arpeggiated chords are slower. The rest of the song is cruising along. I think I really like the movement of that song. But there was a part of me that's like, what if this was kind of influenced by Pantera in some sort of fashion? Anyway, I'm sure I'm completely wrong because I really know next to nothing about Megadeth. But between Megadeth and Metallica, I prefer Megadeth. So so there's that. Such a dope riff. Yes, Dave. It is a dope riff. Somebody sent me a TikTok yesterday of Enter Sandman played in the style of David Bowie. And to me, it sounded a little more like Duran Duran than David Bowie, but it was probably like 80s, not probably, it was like 80s Bowie flavor of Enter Sandman. And I'm like, oh, well, now I actually kind of like this song. It's on Euthanasia. Okay, so Euthanasia was okay. So I think I was working in a record store when that came out because I remember we had a big poster of it. So that would have been like 94-ish. So so my thought of the feel of that song, because from the Megadeth songs that I know, and I've got like a greatest hits or something like that. Stylistically, that riff is different from what I had heard before. So, and like, it's not like whatever. And I knew that there were some connections, like there were some rumors or whatever that Dave wanted Dime to join Megadeth, but Dime was like, not without my brother. And he's like, well, we only need one of you. And he's like, well, you're getting none of us. And then it was like, okay. And he's like, okay. And then they went forward. But yeah, I wonder. Let's see. Matt Carmen and I covered Train of Consequences and Limited Rage way back in the day. Nice. That's cool. David is doing some long overdue dishes. Let's talk about David for a moment. David is another delight. David works with us, and is positivity. He's like a little ray of sunshine, even though I think he would probably say that he isn't. He's a little ray of sunshine. Has nice ideas. Nice guy. David, good dude. Dave is more of a Slayer guy. I am not a Slayer guy at any. Well, I mean, David, you hear what gets played at work. I feel bad for. Well, like, okay, I give Adam options. I'm like, what do you want to listen to? I don't know, man. Whatever you want is fine. Is it though? But yeah, so I think we had a lot of Akira going yesterday. Sorry. John got to see Megadeth open up for Dio. Sabotage was the first band in 1987. Hey, that was probably a pretty good bill. That's rad. That is rad. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So I'm caught up on these comments here. I am going to. You know what? I'm gonna tell me if you can see this. Oh, Hank says, of the big four, it's Anthrax for me. Okay. Slayer is very polarizing. You either hate them or love them. Personally, probably my all-time favorite thrash band. All right. Oh, okay. So is it So Far So Good So What tour? Yes. So I knew, I think, who cares? I mean, I liked their Anarchy cover because, I mean, the Sex Pistols are the best. What else we got? I have actual questions. There's a function in here that's called teleprompter. And I wonder, can you see that? I'm going to hide it and I'm going to go back to the comments. Okay. Could you see that when I popped up a question? There's this teleprompter feature and I have a feeling it's probably only like my view because that's the point of it. Of a teleprompter is for me to be able to read something and to tell you for just $250 a month, you too can be part of the Sully Guitars Conspiracy Series 2023 run. It's true. Just a nominal deposit and a few recurring payments will get you the Sully Guitars Conspiracy Series model that you might have been holding out for. Models like the 71 Trella in colors such as Sunset Burst or Wine Mom, the Concorde 22. Can I tell you how much I love the Concorde 22 with the plates and stuff? That is one of that. Oh, okay. So you can't. Oh, you can't see it until you pin it. Okay, so that was it comes in a different way. Okay, so that's fine. So then what I'm going to do is, I guess I don't need to use the little teleprompter function because I've got these questions pasted elsewhere. So I'll just do that. Dear Kyle was, it said, let's get some questions for Breakfast with Sully. And I'm like, yes, let's, because as we've seen so far, there's 26 minutes. We've been talking about TikTok filters, getting older, and mystery bases. I did a whatever. Oh, Troy says, waiting on that Evertune edition. Please remind me to come back to that, or I will. Oh, I saw Megadeth with Pantera in 92 or 93, says Jeff. I feel bad that I don't feel bad about it, but I remember I saw White Zombie, I think at the Riviera in Chicago in 94. And Pantera was the opening band, and my friends that I went with, we arrived late. And I wasn't a Pantera fan at the time. And like, there are songs of theirs that I like, but like, and who cares? I'm going to get to actual questions that people have asked. Joe says, on the subject of the new run, this is great. Thank you, Joe. Joe, thank you. So now, you know what, Joe, because you're wonderful. I mean, you're all great. But maybe I'll show you the Warlock bass. On the subject of, let's talk about this. Ooh. On the subject of the new run, I've been approved for a 71 Trella as long as I play it live in the next year. Sounds like a win-win to me. That's a win-win-win because you get the immediate win, the guitar. I get the win because, this is a for-profit business. Trying to be a for-profit. And then everybody else wins because then you will play it in a live setting. The people of Scotland win. Although I'm not going to just limit you to just playing in Scotland. I'm not here to restrain you. We do all that right here. Okay, so the Warlock bass. So it's pretty bitchin', right? It's pretty bitchin'. We got some very faint inlays. Hey, wait a minute. Those look like slashes. Dude, what the fuck? And so what song do I learn how to play? Freedom 90. I think I've been killing David with Freedom 90 at the shop lately. Seriously though, what a fucking song that is. And but then I like the bass line to that song is amazing. And exactly. The bass line to that song is amazing, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to play that. I mean, and then it's written for a 5-string. Let's see. Martin, if anyone is on the fence on getting a Trello, I've been hooked on mine ever since I got my custom. It's the perfect shreddy single cut, and you'll be happy if you grab one. I'm just going to leave that up here for a little bit, just so the people in the future can reflect on Martin's thoughtful, wonderful compliment, really. How's Grover doing nowadays? Do we still talk? Yes. Yeah, we do. Let me see here. Everybody wins with Sully guitars, and hey, I would welcome playing just about anywhere. Yes. Guitar Fest says, love your guitars. Thank you. So this, the existence of this does not, I am not going to make another one. No. That was, I blame my buddy Mike Squires, who is my life coach. Isn't that the point of a life coach, not to blame somebody for things that you do? He's not my official life coach. Although if I tell my phone, hey, if I say, here, let's just do it right now. Hey Siri, call my life coach.
Calling Mike.
It's calling him right now. See, it's Mike Squires. I don't know. Oh, it's really early, but it's all right. Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. I'm tired.
I bet you are, because it's 8 o'clock in the morning where you are. I just realized that. I woke up at, that's fantastic. So that's a lot of work. So the reason that I called, I'm doing a live stream right now, and I can put you on speaker. I'm sure everybody's loving this. So we're doing this live stream, and what's that?
You need a joke.
Well, no. I mean, I could always use a joke for sure. However, I have a bass hanging up in the background.
Oh. And you people are losing their minds.
I don't know if people are losing their minds, but I tried being coy, like a fish, and then I said, well, it's kind of this happened. It's kind of Mike Squires' fault. And then I mentioned that you're my life coach, and then I decided to show people. I said, when I call you, I can say, hey Siri, call my life coach, and I demonstrated that, and here we are. So I'm going to let you go. I want to tell you that you're great.
Oh, you're great.
You
know what?
No, what?
Every Saturday morning, you could take 3 questions from people on your live stream, and I could answer their life problem question. I could be like Dr. Ruth for other problems.
You could be Dr. Ruth for other problems. I love this idea. Also, Dave Sheldon is watching, and he says that Mike Squires is a top 5 human.
Tell everyone listening, if they have any sort of funny ideas about that bass,
yeah,
they can fuck off. I have first right of refusal when it goes out the door.
When I invariably get tired of it and say, fuck it, who wants it?
Everyone can fuck right off.
Everyone can fuck right off. I think that's going to be the name of your self-help book. It might just be a pamphlet because it's short. And page 1 is everyone can fuck right off.
Yeah, Jimmy Crack Corn, right?
I don't care. Yeah, who does? I bet Jimmy may have. Okay, we can do this forever. Yeah. I'm going to let you get on with your morning. I hope you have a delightful day. And
it's going to be great. I see lots of friends here. I'm working a festival in West Seattle.
You're working a festival in West Seattle. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were working at a festival in West Seattle when I found you. So,
all right, buddy.
Talk to you later.
You're fantastic.
You are. Bye. Now, who wouldn't want a life coach like Mike Squires? I hope you could. I hope that some of that was at least audible. So that came around. There it is, right there. The Looks That Kill bass came about because so one day, I think in February, I was testing out a way to glue a fretboard to a neck shaft with a new in the vacuum bag. I have this big vacuum bag that I use, um, and I always wonder, I'm like, why don't I just use this to clamp things instead of like this long line of clamps? And it's just, why don't we try that? And so I wanted to not try that on someone's guitar. So I had this bass fretboard and a bass neck shaft that was ready for gluing. And so I did it. And what do you know? Works like a charm. It has become my absolute favorite method to glue a fretboard. See, now we're getting the content of 37 minutes in. It's become my absolute preferred method of gluing a fretboard to a neck shaft. You get the fretboard on with glue, and then you wrap these rubber bands around it like this. And that in and of itself probably gives it enough like holding pressure. But let's kick it up a notcho and let's put that in the vacuum bag, and it will vacuum sealed for freshness. You seal all the tone in. So now I have a bass neck. What am I going to do with a bass neck? And so I'm telling Squires about this because he's a caring person and really is truly invested and interested in what's going on with my life and how I am, because he's a great friend. And so I called him. I'm like, dude, I got a bass neck. What am I going to do with this now? I guess I'll make, I guess I can make a bass. I got a Raven. I have this reverse Raven bass body that I have to make a neck for. And so we were talking. It was an evening chat, and he's like, he was talking about how he needed to get a P bass, and he doesn't particularly like them. Like, they're fine. But I think from like a performance kind of playability kind of feel, the impression that I got, I'm not casting aspersions, the impression that I got was maybe they're not the most effortlessly playable basses. I don't know. I'm not a bass player. I'm a bass owner now, apparently. And so he's like, I'm looking for a P bass I can take for tour and blah, blah, blah. But, invariably, as I'm searching reverb, I always wind up looking for like 80s Mockingbird basses or Warlock basses. And like, that's just burned into my psyche, as a young Sully. I remember flipping through Circus Magazine in 7th grade. And there was this BC Rich ad. I've never seen BC Rich guitars before. I didn't know anything about them. But in this ad was 3 pictures. Still messing with Crosby models. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. In this ad were 3 pictures. It was Nikki Sixx, Lita Ford, and Blackie Lawless. And I'm like, all of these people are very in line with my current interests. Some for different reasons. And I said, Nikki said, Motley Crue, what is it? This guy looks amazing. And I'm flipping through, and this could be like an amalgamation of Circus magazines I flipped through at the time in study hall, but there it was the an ad for Shout at the Devil, and it's got the 4 pictures of the guys, and it's like every mother's nightmare across the maybe on the bottom, and it's Shout at the Devil. I'm like, well, got me. So he had that bass, and so my first good electric guitar. Well, my first electric guitar was fine, but it wasn't one that I picked out. First one that I got, that I'm like, oh, I really want this, was a first year NJ series Warlock in Midnight Blue, which it wasn't necessarily a factory color. At least it wasn't in the catalogs. I bought it used, but like that guitar was not more like, I guess I would have got it in 86, 85, 86, maybe 85. I was a freshman in high school. And, so it's not like people at the time, like they weren't like buying guitars and refinishing them and stuff like that. So like, I know it was factory and it had a Strat style trem on it instead of a Kaler, which great. But I loved that guitar. I had the 6-in-line headstock, and for a little bit, like around the time I was doing the Les Paul restoration, maybe a little bit before, I was looking for old, very early NJ Warlocks, and I had two. And what was interesting to me is that I think both guitars, like one was in 83, maybe one was in 84. And what was interesting to me is how different the guitars were constructed. The necks were different material. Like one of them was had a mahogany bolt-on neck. It was real thin, and the other was like 3-piece maple and was real thick and had like a 3-3 headstock. They had like different bolt-on plates. It was really interesting. But anyway, so I had those for a little while, and so after I'm getting off the phone with Squires that evening, where we were talking about these basses, I go to work in the morning fully expecting to make a Raven bass, and because I got there before Adam does, because I do, and let's just see. So I drew a Warlock, and we made. As Adam came in, I'm like, "Hey, you're making a Warlock bass body." What? Yeah. So then we made the body. I sent a picture of it to Squires, and I said, "This is all your fault." Hit that thumbs up. Yes. So let's see. There were some questions in here, I think. Jeff. Okay. How's Grover doing nowadays? Do you still talk? Grover's good. We check in. I think we talk maybe every month, every couple of months or so. He's good. He's in Tennessee and is much happier. Seems to be much happier there. He's good, man. Yeah. Oh, Jeff had to go. So I hope you heard that before you had to leave, Jeff. Sorry. So here's a question from YouTube. Still messing with Crosby models. I probably, so now Earth Creeper, if that is your real name, and I think it is. First, thank you for watching. I know the YouTube channel has pretty much been dead for, I don't know, maybe a decade, almost a decade. And we're trying to reconnect, so to speak. Although, no, I don't need to go in there. So what I think you're describing is our Raven model, which, and maybe you saw the history videos that, the history video series that has started. And I think one of the most recent ones was the one that I did in honor of Robin. So the Raven model has changed, which I think the next video that comes out on Monday shows that. And so we are still making the Raven. Yes. That was probably not as interesting of an answer as it could have been, but we are. I don't, the body shape that it's been for the last, 7 years. I remember the last order I took for the original Raven shape was June 30th of 2016. So that's cool. It's interesting to me when I see some of the older ones, and I have pictures of all the guitars I built naturally, but I don't go back and look at them very often unless I need to get, here's pictures for social media and stuff like that. But when I see one of the old styles, it looks weird to me. I love the in honor of models. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have, during the course of Sully guitars, really worn my influences on a sleeve or shouted them, when I've done variants from the models that we normally do. There's an example there. How do people on the weather do? I'm gonna have to learn if I want to be a weatherman on a Spanish-speaking channel. I have to learn how to like gesture this way. So there's a cold front coming in right here. Don't go that way. Go this way. This section of the country is very pointy. Ow! See, okay, I'm getting better. Wait, there we go. Ow! We made the Comet, which was obviously based on the 80s Ace Frehley Washburn, the Nice Mans, which you always wonder what the plural of Iceman or Nice Man is. Is it Ice Men, Nice Men, Nice Mans? I call them Nice Mans because to me it sounds like a kid that doesn't know how to pluralize something, and that's fun. It's just like when I like to correct people for, like, if you say supposedly they're coming over today, I like supposedly. Come on, it's just those little irritations that you get from being friends with me at no cost to you. I was scoping out the Robin a couple weeks ago, and at some point was like, wait, that's not a Raven, and realized it had the traditional raised center. If you don't know the video that the guitar that we're referring, you can see it in two places. You can see it on the YouTube channel in the Sully Guitars History playlist, whatever. It's one of the most recent videos. And then also you can watch it in action from our friend Mike Squires, who we literally spoke with earlier in this call, in this video stream, on his Couch Riffs channel. And if you don't follow Couch Riffs, you should. And what Couch Riffs is about is it's a podcast, but also there's a series of performance videos where before COVID, it would be basically get a band or a couple of artists to play a song that wouldn't necessarily be characteristic for them. One take live and that's it. And so Joe's got to go. Bye, Joe. It's so I've been fortunate enough to have performed in a couple of Couch Riffs videos. I think 3. There was and then that Raven with Robin's case stencil graphic on it. There was a Couch Riffs performance of "Lay It Down," and it's got Steve McSwain on vocals. Squires is playing rhythm guitar. This was like in 2020, instead of doing the performance videos where everybody's all together, it was, it was, everybody was doing it remotely and it was all cut together. But, it really was under the stipulation that, like, we're not miming to a performance track and stuff like that. So they did a version of "Lay It Down." So with Steve McSwain, who's a guitar builder, really talented dude. He was singing. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Oh God, I'm forgetting his name. Oh God, I'm the worst. The guitar player is really good. Oh man, you're gonna know who this person is too. Oh, I'm the worst. Anyway, go look for Couch Riffs. Like Couch Riffs, "Lay It Down." It's really good. So that guitar, Squires had called and was like, "Hey, we're gonna do Lay It Down. Do you have like a Raven I can borrow?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And I shared the same thing in that video on YouTube. I sing my name. I sign my name professionally as Dave Sheldon, Couch Riffs alumni, episode 213. I love that. I Squires has kind of tightened up the podcast format since I've appeared, because like my episode was like 2 hours long, and you can hear, it was morning when we were talking, and you can hear the effects of cumulative cups of coffee as I go. And like, that's one that I wish that I could have a redo on, but that's okay. Let's see. Guitar Fest, thank you for the kind words. I know the channel is behind. I discovered you from the Kiss tribute band doing a moment of silence for Robin, and discovered the guitar building from there. Ah, nice. Yeah, that was. I did not want to do that gig at all, but we did. Yeah. So, oh shit, I was gonna cut this off. My episode was 2 hours and 16 minutes, and I had COVID. Okay, I do have some actual solid questions, and I wish that, and I'm sure that I could get this on the screen if I did the paid version of Waved Up Video, but I am not doing that. So I'm just going to read these. These were some questions posted to me on the Instagram page. One is, how did you first start building guitars, and what mistakes did you make in the beginning? The short answer, or I'll try and make this the short answer. Tinkered on stuff in my early teens. Was always very interested in working on guitars. Hung out in a music store near me as a teen that was very impactful, and the owner, Steve, they accepted me like a stray cat. And oh, Troy, thank you. I'm gonna need you to remind me again. And so, he did repairs and built parts guitars, and used to just kind of let me watch as he would work on stuff, and I'd ask questions, and he would talk to me like I knew what he was, like as if I understood what he was talking about. But and then in like 2001, I decided that I wanted to start making my own parts guitars, and did, and then eventually started making things from scratch, and then eventually went full time. I know that is a very short version. There are various podcasts that I've been on that would kind of walk through this. There's a Fretboard Journal podcast from a few years ago that I think is pretty good. And actually, we're going to do another episode this coming Thursday. So I'm looking forward to being asked back. What mistakes did you make in the beginning? I mean, all of them. Every single one. Because I never had, I never had, when I finally decided to get into doing this, I didn't have anyone that showed me how. And so I had to figure out things a lot on my own. And so a lot of books. This is going to end in 5 minutes. Oh, man. Okay. So that's that. Am I looking at more sustainable woods or alternatives for future builds? I'm certainly open to it. There is a fretboard material that we're testing out right now that is called, that I get from LMI, called Royal Blackwood. And it has a few different names, but it's uniformly black. It is wood. And it is, like I said, it's uniformly black. It machines really nicely, so that's good. so we're testing that out. I'm totally cool with, with the idea. It's really, will the buying public do it? Because quite frankly, that is it's a very big motivator, especially if it's something that, if we're just building something that nobody owns, it's got to be something that I can sell quickly. Okay, there's one that I really wanted to answer, but it's going to take too long. One piece of advice that you would give other guitar builders, and or the best piece of advice you got from Grover. I think the best piece of advice that I could give other guitar builders is don't try not to, so when I say don't, I'll say try not to build guitars that you can't easily find cases for. Try and design things that fit in cases that are readily available. How do I know this? Because it's obvious. I do. Yeah, that's tough. Another piece of advice that I would give you, that I know that I didn't follow myself, and this is super, super common. Don't make one guitar, or don't start making one guitar and then start taking on commissions. A lot of people, in the excitement of maybe building their first guitar, their second guitar, or whatever, will, build one and start a business. Don't do it. It's not. There are lessons that I've learned from doing that, that I would say that it's not a great thing to do. Yeah, the other question that I will absolutely answer, I just don't want to do it in this because I'm running out of time. So Troy, David, best advice, don't. That is actually one of the first things that Grover said to me about, he's like, the best piece of advice I give to people that want to do this is don't. So Troy, Evertunes. Evertunes will happen in the conspiracy series before they happen in the customs, because that's my feeling. If somebody ordered something with an Evertune, it's going to require a lot of R&D for me because I've not installed one. The Sullys that have Evertunes are conspiracy series guitars that were sent to Evertune to do all of the routing and the installation and setup. So I've got the CAD files for the cavities and all that stuff, but unfortunately it doesn't seem as easy as just two-dimensional routing, because there's an area that has to have a 45-degree bevel between the back cavity and the top cavities, and it's, like I said, it's something that I've never done. I don't really know how to. I understand how to route cavity, but I'm probably going to wind up ruining a few things before a viable one. So it's probably better for me to speak with the fine people that are responsible for the conspiracy series guitars and work it out that way. That said, I still have to provide all the CAD files and all that stuff, and they're just going to make what I give them. So that's the thing. That's the thing with the Evertunes. Okay. This is really winding down. We've got 10 seconds left to go. Can I do it? It's pointy over here. I gotta go. And practice on scrap. Yes, nobody ever listens to that, but practice on scrap.